Hi, I'm Yasmin Ongo, and you are watching the Crew Reviews.
Hey boys, let's raise a glass. We are thrilled to have Yasmin Ongo back on the show.
Yes,
Wait, I have something too this time.
Look at that.
Awesome. Oh my gosh.
Oh my goodness. It's real.
Let's drink. Let's drink.
What? And then I want to know what is that something?
Apple juice.
Mm-mm.
It's my husband's Crown Royal.
Oh,
What is-
yeah.
Oh, all right. She's going old school.
Oh my gosh, that's horrible.
I do not think that you will be a spokesperson for Crown Royal.
No product placement of Crown Royal.
It burns.
Turned your face
Yeah.
inside out.
Uh,
I can't wait for the answers later on, though.
He should have given you like one of the. They have like an apple flavored and a couple other like flavored ones that are a little bit more mild. So
Really?
palatable, yeah.
Next time.
And she's like, I'm not gonna be able to answer these questions now. I can't even talk.
That thing burns.
Go to the ER now.
Well, you know what else? It should be burning up the charts.
Yeah, look at
They
that.
come at night, right?
Mhm.
This is the second novel. The follow-up to Her Name Is Night, which we loved, and we knew we were going to love this one. So can you give our viewers a spoiler-free summary of Nina's second adventure?
Yeah, okay. So in They Come at Night, Nina and her crew are back. This time, the tribe and her family, the Knight family, are coming under attack by this unknown force. They are just attacking them literally and figuratively, I think, and trying to dismantle the tribe from the inside out. And so she has to figure out who's coming after the tribe and then who's also coming after her family personally and get them before they get her.
That's what you do.
That's pretty succinct. That was awesome. A little bit different than Her Name Is Night in that it's very linear. You get your third person point of view. We get to see our great characters. But as writers, we want to ensure that there's an arc not only to the story, but for the characters too. And They Come at Night. Readers get to see Nina not only as the kick-ass assassin she is, but they also get to see a more vulnerable side. More vulnerable version of her. And I wonder if this progression came naturally, like almost maybe subconsciously, or if this is something you knew you had to work on with Nina.
Yeah, that's a good one. It's a little bit of both. I knew that she had to grow definitely from the first one and everything. And she had to think about things differently if she was going to accept the people that were in her life now and kind of where she wanted to be. And so she would be the kind of person who would probably fight that because she wants to very much stay in what she knows, which is to keep people apart. But I also knew that in writing this, the audience and also me would want her to kind of, progress a little bit more. So she's got a lot of like back and forth of that. I mean, and she will always, I think, have a little bit of that back and forth because it'll never leave her to be 100% vulnerable. But, we all have those moments where we just kind of,
Mhm.
you know what I mean? So,
Yeah.
Ooh.
that tension was like very effective in the story.
Yeah, for sure.
Her, between her vulnerability and her armor, it resonated throughout the story.
Well, when I was reading the book, I'm a typical guy, like, all the explosions. I'm like over here and over here. But I was really drawn into, I was kind of gripped by the storyline, particularly with Nina's interactions with her own family. It replaced the action in a different way, but I was really drawn into that part of your story, much more so than I have with a lot of other titles that I've read. Is it fair to say that maybe with some accuracy that your personal life and your own family plays a large part in how you shape and move the story forward in the literary sense? Particularly in the second novel, that captured my attention a lot in the second novel.
Yeah. Oh, that's a really, really good question. Thank you for asking that.
Mhm.
Yeah, well, so family is really, really huge to me, and especially with Ghanaian families, it's a very, very big part of their lives or our lives. And so I knew that with They Come at Night, I had introduced all these different things with Nina, especially this family. And I've given some background, information about the family, but I really wanted everyone to see how they work as a unit. In this adult, capacity, in the different roles that they do, that they play, and everything like that, and how they play off of each other, and how that love that they had the moment Nina came to their home, still is there, even though the ladies are adults now, and they're going through all these different things, but the love is still there, and the deepness and the different ways that she interacts with the different family members. Each of them is just, they're different with her, and they know how to be with her. And I really, really wanted to like kind of explore that a little bit, that even though she's the one that's the assassin, her family really takes care of her in the ways that they know that she needs it. She won't ask for it, but they know she needs it. And so I really wanted to kind of show that. I got to remember that answer because I think I really like it. I don't know where that came from.
Well, I'm recording it, so we're good.
Play it back.
For me, in the thriller genre, thriller genre in particular, those moments of communication and those kind of those quieter moments with family and loved ones and whatnot, that tends to be kind of the reset for the next action sequence. But I didn't feel that with this story. I felt like that was a story in and to itself, and it really pulled me in. So congrats on doing that, because I'm a complete, monkey. And so anybody that can keep my attention off of those, high action moments, that's some fantastic writing.
Thank you.
Yeah, you betcha.
But those high action moments, though, especially towards like the last half of the book, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, awesome.
That was fun.
Well, let me riff on something you just said. You were talking about how the family kind of cares for her in that way, even though she's the sort of the alpha, badass. Do you think that that's kind of compensatory or compensating for what she's been through and kind of what she's lost through her own suffering? Do you think that that's kind of that they know that she doesn't have those coping mechanisms, so they're kind of providing that for her?
Sean, she's the Echo badass, by the way.
But yes, they definitely do. And I think that that's what makes them so special, is that they are, they're not your typical family, right? Like the dad's not a doctor, but like they have such, an ability to love and to love this person in the right way that they need it. And just like you said, they see those holes that she has, of those things that were taken, and they're trying to like fill that well back up. And so they do it in that way that they know that she needs, that she's been missing. And so, yeah, that's definitely, what they're doing, even though they might not know. Well, sometimes I think they do know that they're doing that, but like it just comes naturally to them. And so I really, really appreciate that. And that's why I try to like really hone in on that. And when they're together, I just love writing them together and how I imagine like they'll be and so I have a good time whenever the nights are together.
Yeah, you can tell.
Well, among the many effective lines, the great one in They Come at Night is, in this story, there are no heroes. And it's not just a line, it echoes throughout the story. Can you expand on that a bit and tell us what drove that thematic aspect of this story?
Yeah, well, so that was a play on, how they say for writers say that, every character is a hero in their own story, even the villain. And so even in the first book, Paul thought he was, the hero in his story. And so I wanted with the character that, says to Nina, what do you think, you're a hero because, you're saving the day again, and all this other stuff. And also this is someone who has been, who feels robbed from her too, because, she's had this life that this person, feels like was taken away from them, from someone who was taken from them. And so Nina at the end of this book really comes to realize that the people that she, put on a pedestal, the people that she, cares for and things, they're able to do bad. And so like bad people are not the only people who do bad. Good people do bad. And so that's why she's like, there are no heroes, because everyone has something. And she knows that she's not, a hero because she also does, bad things. And so, yeah, that line, someone else had said that line to me and I totally forgot that I had that in there. And I was like, man, that's a good line. Where'd you in your book? And I said, what? I did that. I had to look that up. I was so proud of myself on the back. I was like, yeah, I was feeling real good at that moment when that one came up. I don't know where that came from.
I'm so good. I can't remember all the good I did.
Exactly.
Well, your answer, it's funny because your answer played right into exactly what I was thinking as I was reading it. I started getting into sort of these philosophical thoughts, and most nations have people who use extreme means to protect and defend their interests or their ideals. This leads to a lot of sacrifice and some actual heroism, but it also can lead to abuses and compromises of those ideals that they set out to protect. Mm-hmm. So I'm wondering, and this is, as I said, philosophical, as you look at the world through Nina's eyes, have you gained any insight into how to walk that line of doing bad things for good reasons?
Yeah. No, I don't think I have, but like that is the same kind of conversation that I had with, myself. That's something that I had to think about even when I was writing the first book, because, a lot, the question asked me is, how do you make an assassin like a likable person? Well, there's a code. She's got, there are reasons why they're doing the things. And so, and also, Nina thinks in shades of gray. So nothing is black and white to her. And that is something that I have also, realized in myself in writing this book, is that, I can see sometimes if someone really pleads their case about like what it is that they're doing, why, and they might be totally wrong in why they're thinking about it, but because they believe it so, and because they make that much of a case, I can see why you do this thing. It's still a very bad thing that you did, but like you've got a reason and you've got a rationale. If there's just no reason, if it's just to hurt, people, and that's just it. If it's because someone doesn't believe as you believe, that's not it either. You know what I mean? But and I got that, I think, even as being a teacher, because as a teacher, you've got to ask, like, why did you do this thing? And even as being a parent, right? Like, why did you do this thing? And when they're talking to you and they're telling you their rationale for it, you're like, wow, I think I can kind of get it. You're wrong, but I can understand. And so therefore, I can see why you would do this thing. And I might have a little bit more grace and understanding and forgiveness for what you're doing because of why you're doing it. Yeah. Is that the question?
That's a great answer.
That's
a great answer. I could tell you though, as a parent, when I ask my children, why did you do that? And they go, I don't know. It infuriates the crap out of me.
Oh, me too, right? That's not it. That's not the answer.
So. Nope. Come up with something, and you're still wrong, but I'd be like, okay, all right, you're still grounded. But you just shrug your shoulders. I wanna. Oh.
my stare at me dumbly, and I'm just like, I need an answer. And she. Yeah. I can't take that.
Go. Just please remove yourself. Yeah. So there are several plot twists you incorporated into this book that readers are going to love. I'm sure of it because I did. And as I came across them, I was wondering if you planned those out, or if you developed those, or if they developed organically. Because I know we've talked to several authors who, when those plot twists come up, and like some readers give feedback like, yeah, I totally saw that coming. And the author's like, I don't know how you saw it coming because I didn't see it coming. It just, happened. And I was wondering if that happened to you as well.
I think it did, actually. I didn't plan it because I really don't plan things. They do come to me organically. I know that, hey, there's going to be this main thing at the end. This is kind of the journey that I want, the character to take. Like the bad person, the baddie, that was not the original person, and even neither of the baddies were the original people. I even thought about bringing someone else from the past to be that, but then I was like, that's something probably that people will guess, that this person really wasn't dead, or something like that. So I was like, there has to be something else. And then also I wanted a deeper reason for why this thing was happening to this group of people who are trying to do good. But, again, even the best people sometimes are, have their self-interest and can be always in themselves. So, so yeah, it definitely comes organically, and I don't know it until I'm writing it and the story shifts, and I'm just like, which makes me a slow writer, because when it comes and it turns around, then I have to stop, because then I got to think about what I've written and everything, you know what I mean?
Matching up.
Yeah.
So I'm like a long marinator. I'll write a little bit, something will just come, and I just know that's the thing, and then I got to go back and fix.
Oh.
Well, I don't want to name any names, but we didn't know who the villain of our show was going to be until
It took a while.
It's crazy.
Well, when you look at the back cover, They Come at Night, I see some of our favorite authors here. We got Sean Cosby and David Baldacci and Kelly Garrett. I mean, they're lauding over your writing, and rightfully so. And these are some powerful names in the industry. Does that recognition give you feelings of validation, or does it deepen that imposter syndrome that so many people that we talk to kind of suffer through, no matter where they are at in their career?
All of the above.
Yeah.
All of the above. And it definitely made me nervous about like the second one. I wanted it so much to be at the level of the first. And so even when, Sean was like, hey, Sean, was like, hey, we're about to read your book. I was like super nervous, because I was like, oh my gosh, what if they think that this is not going to be like the first? It's not like the first, and they're going to be mad because it's not even written like the first, and all these things, and are they going to understand what I'm trying to do, and all that. So to hear like David and Sean, Sean S.A. Cosby, he was the first guy to actually read Her Name is Night. I think I told you guys that, or did I not? Did we not?
No, we didn't know that.
He was the first guy. I wrote it, and then I was not getting, good feedback from agents. And so I went to Kelly and I was like, Kelly, I need a man to read my book and to tell me, like, is this legit? Like, are guys going to like this too? And so he was the first person to read it. And he only read like a sample of it at first, but he read it and he gave me the thumbs up. And I was like, and Kelly was like, and Sean's not easy, so get prepared for his response. And I was like, oh my God, he's going to hate it. I'm going to like this, and all this other stuff. But no, he liked it. And I was like, oh my goodness, I can't believe it. And so like, I was like, that's my main validation right there. Because I just wanted to make sure that it was something that everybody could read and enjoy it, and not be like, oh, chick book, or, whatever, Yeah,
you don't be a flash in the pan. That second book is critical, in success. So.
And David Baldacci, I mean, what does he know about?
Nothing. I wouldn't worry about that.
God.
He's just some guy. I don't know.
I mean, it is a chick book. It's got a really good looking chick on the front cover. But she kicks ass.
Yeah.
And we all love the sexy ass kicking, good looking woman. So I loved it.
Yeah.
Chris loved her so much he married one.
Did.
Well,
she made him.
Yeah, exactly. The subject of truth also permeates this novel, whether it's Nina trusting herself as she tries to allow herself to be vulnerable in her personal relationships through this armor she's built up, or the betrayals that occur, which I will not be specific about for obvious reasons, that keep cutting her deeper and deeper as the story goes on. So what I want to ask is, who hurt you? No, that's not what I want. No, what I want to ask is, but it's close to that. Was betrayal on your mind for external reasons, be it they societal or personal, or did the story just take you there? I mean, like, were you looking to examine betrayal in particular?
Yeah. So that's awesome. You guys asked some really great questions.
Deep.
Hey.
They're Mad Libs.
Yeah. So the second one, there wasn't any like big betrayal that was going on in my life, definitely in the first one, the themes that were going on in there were things that were echoing, what I had been dealing with. But like in the second one, I just really thought about like, what is the natural like progression of things? Like just when things are kind of getting good, for Nina, what can really like amplify, the stress and the turmoil, and what can make her second guess her finally feeling kind of okay. And that's dealing with, the betrayal, I'll say, of her, because if you read the first one, so it's going to be spoilers, but like of her brother,
Yeah.
and having to deal with the ramifications of taking out the only person that she had left in her biological family. And then all of that kind of trickles over. And so how does she apply that? And so just when she's feeling comfortable with like, okay, I can deal with that kind of stuff, then this other thing happens, these other kind of like betrayals. And these are people that are not in her old life. This is her new life, because she's thinking in her new life, this stuff isn't going to happen again, betrayals and all that kind of trauma, at least not within, the circle. So that's what I was kind of thinking of, is like, how would she deal with these things that are coming up in her new life now, when she thought that all of that was put to the past, and how would she deal with that?
Sean and Mike, we talk like the craft of writing, and one of the things that we always talk about is how do we make our protagonist, the main character's life worse? Like, what can we throw at him? What can we do to make it worse? Because then that's where you get your story.
Right. That's absolutely true. And I like to really play on like, what is my character's the deepest fear? What is the thing that they absolutely want the most, and can't live without, and need the most? And what can I do to take that away from them? Which makes me sound so horrible, but I take it away to build them back up and give it back to them. You know what I mean? So the thing that Nina wants the most is family, and that's her found and her biological. And so when someone in the family or in her circle, does something, or if someone from the outside is trying to, threaten this family that she's created, then that is the thing that will totally like kill her. And so she's to come up against it.
Right.
Well, there's this point, you can't read my terrible handwriting, but it says, how can I make Tom's life worse? Tom is my
here's mine. Here's mine.
And this is, it's sitting right in front of me. I look at it every time.
I like it that it's on that pink Post-it.
I know, right? It's pink. It stands out.
He just actually changes his Post-it to match the guest outfits. We do.
Yeah,
I do.
That's all of us.
But I like that whole thing of looking at your protagonist, and she has this suit of armor, right? And finding that chink in that arm and just prying at it and figuring out, where, how much pressure can I put on the character and see how they react. It's always pretty cool.
And definitely a natural one, not something, that I just like make up and say, oh yeah, this is going to be the thing that like messes with her. And that takes knowing your character really, really well. And that's something that makes me also, again, a slow thinker, because I'm thinking of, well, I need to really know this character and what makes them tick. And so what is it that they fear the most? And I've read some books where, they'll just kind of throw things and, just things that they want the character to overcome. But like the reader knows this isn't something that the character cares about. So it's just like one other thing, you know what I mean? And I want to take that reader to that level, the same level as the character, because I want them to go on that journey with the character.
Yeah, you want to develop that emotional bond between the reader and the character, and
Exactly.
that doesn't happen if it feels fake. So a portion of the story takes place in Ghana, which is Nina's homeland. And as you were writing those parts, was there some element or nugget that you just had to include, or was there something new that maybe you discovered when you were writing in that part of the world?
Well, I just had to include, like the Aburi mountain, which is where my aunt lives, and, how beautiful and lush it is, and the markets that they have like along the mountain. And then when they go to the Elminia Castle, where Delphine is from, that village, and they're talking about, the whole, slave trade and how, the enslaved people were funneled through that castle. Like that was significant to me. And then also I included in there, and of course now I'm going to get them confused, but I think it was either a wedding, or I think it was a wedding, right? Or it could have been a naming ceremony that I put in there. And that was something that, we have, and I've had for my kids when they were born. And so it was very important to me to show a little bit of, like the culture, like what we do in some of our ceremonies when we have big, life events, and how, important and beautiful and long, it is. And so I put that in there. And so those were things that I wanted to introduce a little bit more on a granular level than I did in the first one.
Mm-hmm. There's a ton to learn from writing a rough draft and you getting into the business and all the way through, the final publication and drop date, and everything's new and everything's a kind of exciting in a certain way. And there's also the part of things that we may or may not like about it. And so I was going to ask you about, what did you learn about the role of social media, and what was your overall impression of how that aspect of part of the writing career panned out for you since the debut?
Well, I don't want to say I hate it, but I hate it, because I'm a social media person.
No arguments here.
What'd you say?
No arguments from us.
Right. Okay. So I'd rather read what everyone has and like retweet and like, than to try to come up with something, on my own. And if I don't want to be witty and be on like, what is it, book talk, and do all of those things, like that's not me. And so when I put something on, like I try to be as natural and as honest as, possible. I hate trying to market myself, because I'm like that. I just feel like a door-to-door salesman saying, buy my book, but they tell me I have to do it. And so I try to do it, and I have to literally remind myself to do these things. So I don't like it, but I know that that's the way to interact with people now, and to build, I guess, an audience and a base. So I try, but I'm better off when I'm in person with people. Like when I went to BoucherCon and Thriller Fest and those places, like I like to interact with readers and other writers and things like that. So I'm much better when we're face to face than if I'm, behind my phone or even virtually. So when I meet you all in person, it'll be fantastic.
Where are we going to meet, by the way?
We'll see.
We couldn't make BoucherCon.
No, BoucherCon, no.
None of us could. You want a Thriller Fest next year?
I can't, because my daughter is graduating high school.
I mean,
I got the same problem this coming year.
I said, your graduation is the same as, Thriller Fest. And she was like, it's about me, Mom. It's about me. And I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, I have the same issue this coming year. Yeah.
Does she know where she wants to go to college?
She's thinking about like Spelman or College of Charleston. She also is thinking about one of the places in Florida, Central Florida, maybe. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, if she decides on Bama, my daughter's looking for a roommate, so she.
Oh, okay. All right. I'm gonna tell her.
Well, we're all drawn to reading in different ways for different reasons. But I think one commonality that we all share is we want to live vicariously through the characters and inner worlds we otherwise never could. And in many cases, we all read a lot of the same books, and we find ourselves in sort of familiar territory with familiar protagonists, with familiar tropes. But with Nina, you are taking us into a world that is foreign to us, both literally and figuratively.
Yeah.
So when you set out on this writing path, and I think it was 2010, you went from women's fiction to thrillers, if I remember right from our last interview. Did you know that your Ghanaian heritage was going to be central to your character?
I did. I knew that was the first thing that I was like, she's going to be a badass woman who is going to have this job that, people wouldn't agree with. And the second is I'm going to incorporate my culture. And so I always knew that I really wanted to highlight that and just have everyone kind of see it in a different way, to see us as strong people and people who can do all of these things that, you never see us do really, as the good guy or anything like that. So I really just want, and I love, like you were saying, I loved all of those kinds of books and those movies and things like that. And so I just really wanted to kind of flip things around and flip around the reader's perspective of, you know, the normal stereotypes and tropes that we're all used to, and even that I'm used to, you know?
Yeah.
Right.
Completely.
And
Like,
and
go ahead,
go ahead, John.
No, I was just gonna say it's very tough to be fresh in this.
Yes.
In any genre, but in this genre for sure. And from Her Name Is Night on, it's just been like, it's definitely a breath of fresh air, and
Yeah, for sure.
keep killing it.
Thank you.
Took the words out of my mouth, John. I was going to say fresh. Fresh.
They spent too much time together already.
God.
It's because we're big Cool in the Gang fans, and we're both listening to it right before the show.
And with that, let's raise a glass. Yasmin, you have made it through our serious portion of the interview.
Oh, here it comes.
That was serious.
Yeah, that was and this is going to be even seriouser. I'm going to pause and we're going to watch Yasmin take a sip. No, I'm kidding. You don't have to. Oh, she is.
Oh,
So whenever if it's BoucherCon next year in San Diego, wherever it is, we'll give you something smooth. That
Yes.
we'll buy you something smooth that won't make you make that face.
No,
please.
that's not.
Floor cleaner.
By the way, that is now your that's going to be your promo snippet.
Oh gosh.
Crown Royal.
Brought to you by Crown Royal.
Oh, I can see it now. All right, so we're each gonna ask you 3 questions. Silly, some serious. Sean might have some serious questions. I definitely do
He
not.
always ruins it.
But here's my first one. If you could choose one song to play every time you appeared on our show, what would you choose?
It's a hip hop song by Post Malone. It's called "Wow," and that's what I. That's the song.
All right. We'll see about licensing that one.
That may be way out of our budget, but we'll try. We'll get it on.
Yeah, we'll see
8
what
seconds
the
is okay.
licensing fees is for that.
All right. So I mentioned before, I love the cover of They Came at Night. The green definitely stands out on a bookshelf. But can you describe the color green without using any color names?
That's hard.
Yeah. I know.
It's lush and
Okay.
if I say, oh no, I guess that's a color. But no, if we think about it as a gem, if I say emerald-y,
There you go.
Really?
Emeraldy.
emerald-y, because it's
Judges?
gem,
Judges?
as well as they-
I always rule in favor of the guest. You know me.
Yeah, that's true.
that those are gems. So there's an argument.
Okay, but
All right.
well,
All right. Let's go with my last one. And I think I know the answer to this one. But maybe it will change. What fictional character do you identify with most and why? And it can't be one of the characters you've written in your stories.
Oh,
I think you know the answer to this one. That's interesting.
I don't know the answer to that. Fictional character. I don't know.
doesn't have to be a
Huh?
doesn't have to be a character.
No?
Oh, or fictional anything.
Yeah, fictional anything.
Okay, this might sound weird. Maybe I think I would choose SpongeBob.
Okay, wait. So the other part of that was why.
Imagination.
Exactly, and also to go back to when you were asking me what song would I walk into, SpongeBob has this cartoon where he's walking into the music and he's like this.
Yeah.
That would be me to that this, and I walk down and I do all that.
I love it.
Picture like a
Look at
James
that.
Brown kind of entrance.
Halftime show when he sings and he's got that 80s power pop voice. That's one of my favorite.
Happy and carefree.
Oh man.
It mortifies my wife that I have a favorite SpongeBob, but I actually have 6. But anyway.
I love SpongeBob.
Ooh, I watch SpongeBob with my kids all the time.
Well,
I actually enjoy
we're
it.
all like 8 years old here. Okay, my turn. Okay, for a killer duo, what other literary character should Nina Knight team up with for a high-level assassination?
Ooh. Oh my goodness, there's so many.
I know.
Well, I think I started actually reading Greg's books, Greg.
Hurwitz.
Yes. And
Orphan
so I
X.
really like Evan Smoke. And I'm
Oh
like,
my
you know what?
gosh.
They would be something fierce.
Yeah.
They have a lot of like commonalities that I was just like, wow, I didn't like, kind of know that, but like that's really, really cool. And he's so very, very technical. And I think that the two of them would just, first of all, their conversation would probably be non-existent, but
But they get along for that very reason.
Both emotionally stunted, and it would be beautiful.
yeah, both of them are just, and they would be, I think, hilarious because they are so like stunted in that way. So I think that would be really, really cool. Him, and also, I really think she would be cool with like John Wick.
Yeah. Who wouldn't be cool with John Wick?
Yeah, I know.
I could be cool with John Wick. And
You could be cool with John Wick.
that's struggling.
Maybe.
I love it. She said Evan Smoke. I love that.
I know.
I'll
I
tell
was
you,
thinking the same
and,
thing.
And we will all tell you that those books, it's a cliche, but those books get better every time out. I mean, the last one was so damn good. It almost made me like want to quit writing.
Yeah, I know. It's depressing as hell.
Wow. Okay. Because I'm like only on maybe the second one. And I also think that the name is just really cool. Evan.
Yeah.
So I really love a cool name. And I think that's a cool last name. So.
All right. I find myself using the same phrase over and over when I'm talking with the guys about the show and some ideas that we come up with.
Mhm.
But I kind of want it to sound cooler. So how do I say that's stupid in Ghanaian?
I don't know.
Oh, damn it, bring your mother on.
I got to ask my mom. And my
Yeah.
mom
Bring her
didn't
on.
Get back to us.
know when I called her. I'm
So-
going to have to ask her.
Can you record her saying it, and then we'll put her in the show? Like, send us the video, and then we'll put her in the show.
Next promo for Chris.
I'll
We'll do
record her
that.
saying it. That's stupid. Okay.
That's stupid.
Happens
All right,
often.
last question then.
Okay.
All right, so Chris is one to hang around at the pool at the house, and so he's out there, sunning himself and trying to get that white skin a little bit darker there. How would Nina go about assassinating him? I want to hear like the process of how Nina arrives and assassinates him at his own home.
My head's on a swivel. I got cameras, dogs. She's not getting anywhere.
He's not, but you're trying to sun and things. So I really feel like that's something Nina would probably come from like behind as he's like sunning himself. Does he also have that like silver?
Yeah, exactly.
Of course I do.
It's
But
typical. It's like 1980s.
But he's got the cucumbers over his eyes, so he can't see.
Cucumbers and everything like that.
baby
Yeah,
oil.
like-
Baby
right,
oil.
right. So yeah, so he's not in the water, so Nina can't do the
No.
the water thing that she did in the first. So yeah, she would probably come. She would probably like have to cut your throat with one of her daggers.
There you go. And I want a video
You
footage of
didn't
all
see
of
it
that.
coming. It was too late. But she would
Well-
wait there with you while you died.
She would.
Just
Yeah.
stare
Would
at
she
you.
hold my hand?
Hold your hand and pat you. Yeah.
I don't know. She'll look at you and make sure that you go.
Go to sleep.
I'd be like, but I liked you in the book.
Now I hate you.
No, I hate you.
Okay, well, I'm last, and of course, me. I got to be serious, right? Not at all. So since Mike mentioned your mother, after our last interview, we know a little bit about your mom, although we have not heard you do her impression, which you have to do before the show's over. So maybe
That's right. Mhm.
you have to answer this as your mother. This is a little bit. I'm borrowing a little bit from my own experience. Has your mother offered any ideas for your books yet? Like, has she given you a good set piece or maybe a new assassination method or anything like that?
Okay, so let's see. Yasmin, I am a Christian woman, and so therefore I don't kill anybody. I don't condone it. It's not good. So I think rather your next book should be Nina Goes to Church. Jesus. That is what she needs. She needs Jesus. And so she should get to church and she should talk to the Lord and ask him to forgive her. Like I asked the Lord to forgive you for writing these books. And she actually said that to me, that she asked the Lord to forgive me. So there we go.
Hey, but just think about it. For that book,
That was awesome.
midnight Mass. We got the name. We're already good. We're good. Okay.
When she wins, listen, when she wins the Thriller Fest writing award, she has to go up there and give her acceptance speech as her mother.
As her mom.
Okay. Now
You want my mom to beat my ass, don't you?
Yeah.
Yes,
Very much.
because we love it.
I just got to meet this woman. So now we're going to go a different generation. Now that you were not just an acclaimed author, but an award-winning author.
That's right.
Do your kids think you're any cooler than you were before?
Ooh.
No, they don't. They like to talk about me to their friends, but then when they're like with me, they can't be bothered with
They
me.
can't show it. It's like showing weakness.
Yeah, no.
Mom, would you sign this for Mary? She wants a little.
Exactly.
Whatever.
My kid is like, we have to
My
wake up.
mom apparently wants it.
Yeah, like they only are thinking about what they want to do, so they don't care. But they'll put on a good show if they have to go with me to like an event or anything like that. They'll be really great. But with me, they're just like, I can't. They won't even watch movies with me. So like, I'm the least coolest person in this house.
I get it in the same way in my house.
Not me. My kids worship me. No, I'm just kidding.
He beats them.
I'm completely kidding. All right.
Otherwise, they don't eat.
That's right. That's right.
That's
My
right.
last question. Have you at all inferred to your 8th grade students that Nina's lethal abilities mirror your own? That they should consider that before turning in their paper late?
No, because I'm not in the classroom anymore. So I can't. But I mean, I could tell you that, back then I could really silence them with, a deadly eye. So they knew that there was more to this like little short lady than met the eye. So
I believe all of that.
Yes. Yasmin, once again.
wait, I have
Filled
a
it.
question.
Yes.
Oh,
You guys aren't allowed to ask questions.
Yes, they are.
Okay.
So my question, because it's like a football themed question. So like when you are going or watching a game, like what is and I love food. So what is like your favorite go-to like sports snack that you eat?
Tostitos and salsa.
I would say
Chips.
I make a pretty good nacho dip.
Oh.
Nacho.
But Chris is just angling for like an endorsement deal.
Tostitos. Love the crunch.
So I'm a bit of a foodie, and my wife is as well. So she will. We have this island. It's not a huge island at all, but she will basically make the entire island a charcuterie board.
Oh.
And then I will make buffalo chicken dip, which I made before it was hip. Just to let you know, I was making it a long time ago.
It's not hip anymore. But
And then everything else is just random. I mean, it could be any number of things. We love wings. We love stuff like anything basic. But there will always be a massive charcuterie board.
We've seen the photos.
yeah, it's
Have
pretty
yet
spectacular.
to partake. Seen the photos. Very jealous.
Yep.
As I eat my salsa and chips from a little bowl.
Out of a can.
Chris, your Tostitos chips. Remember, you're trying to angle for.
Oh yes, the crunch.
Well, so your sauce, is it mild, medium, or hot?
It's chunky, mild.
Mild. Oh, come on.
Can't like him.
I know.
I want to enjoy it.
If it's like a night game, then we're talking Thai food or something of that nature.
Not just regular pizza. Sean just can't do pizza.
Yes, too
Because
boring.
is there good pizza
I
in
can't.
Kokomo?
Oh yeah, there's great pizza in Kokomo, but I mean,
I believe you.
that's more of a Friday night thing for us. There is.
It's all dough. It's this thick.
Don't believe you.
What drove that question? Got to ask.
First of all, because I was hungry. And second of all, because, I was just thinking, because we started talking about football and stuff. And so I was like, I wonder, because, I like to know what people eat. I ask people what they have for dinner all the time. So I like football food. So I would go to a game because I know that I'm going to be fed there. So.
You and my wife would get along great. She is always we joke. Her best friend, when we go to dinner with that couple, like my wife will have if it's in Indianapolis, which is an hour away, my wife will have to have a snack in case she gets hungry on the way to dinner. So she's always
And
obsessed.
she's this petite woman too. I don't know where she's
Yeah.
packing it all on.
She's always obsessed with the fact that she can't be left without food. So
Agree. Always. I have it all over my office. Like things are everywhere. And my husband knows that I hide things here like a chipmunk because I don't want him to get
Hypoglycemia is a dangerous
yeah,
thing. Yeah,
like,
that's right.
I mean, I have my trail mix here and everything. So like
Nice.
everywhere. It's everywhere.
Because you never know.
Seriously, congratulations on
Yeah.
another. You're 2 for 2. I mean, you can't do better than that. So
Following up on your debut, that's always such a critical, worrisome piece. And boy, you really kicked it right out of the stadium. So, I mean, great job on that. I mean, everything you put into it, it comes out in the pages. This is you put a hammer to the second book. So congrats. That's gonna do great.
People are going to absolutely love it.
True.
Oh, let's raise a glass.
wait,
go ahead.
wait, one more question. So, there's
question?
some TV. Is there TV stuff going on that we need?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, can you talk about the TV stuff?
What?
Or is it still?
I can't talk about it. They're slow as molasses is all
Yeah.
I know. And so they're still working on the script, the last that I heard. I hear it's almost done, but people have notes apparently. And so I was like, okay. And so they'll let me read it when it's almost done. So it's probably like any day now, because the last time they told me that was maybe a month ago.
An 8-part series? What are we talking?
I don't know. Like all they said was like, they're gonna like package like a series and take it to the network that's interested in it and see what they say.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Well, we'll
Wish
add
you
that
the
to
best
our
of
toast.
luck.
Yeah,
we toast to that.
Yeah, that's a
love
good
that.
toast right there. That's it. Look at her. She's gonna do it again, folks.
She's gonna do it again.
Mm,
We'll see you for book 3.
Yeah.
It's getting easier. It's
I'm
getting
gonna get
easier.
a better drink. Wait, what are you guys drinking? Because maybe I
Oh.
need to do that.
High
This is-
West bourbon
This is much smoother.
bullet. Mm.
Bullet. It's much smoother than that Crown Royal you're drinking.
This is
Yeah.
high-end H2O right here. I have to drive in a few minutes.
Oh, okay.
Mm.
I thought we all had to have alcohol, like the last.
We do.
Well,
Mike-
I do.
Mike
I can
always
bring it down
flaunts the
below
rules.
the legal limit. Yeah.
Mike
Oh,
always
all
Mike
right.
always flaunts the rules.
He does.
Yeah. I'm the old
Always
one here.
great
I
to
can
see
do
you,
what I
Yasmin.
want. Damn it. Get off
Always
my
great
lawn.
to see you.
Thank
See
you
ya.
guys.
Have a good one.
Thank you too. Bye.
Boys,
Mm.
Yasmin on go. Second time on the show.
Yes.
They come at night.
Yep.
She killed it. We love this story. Everybody should go out and get this one and get the previous one. Her name is Night.
That's right.
So let's raise a glass. Yasmin, to
It's
her
almost
mom,
nighttime here.
We're-
To her mother.
to her mother.
We love her already. Haven't even met her.
Cheers.
Ready and set and go.
Dual function.
We would have no friends if people actually heard all
Get
this.
that one through insurance. Yeah.
Don't go anywhere. No,
No.
No.
call her back, damn it.
And here we go. And this is the outro for Yasmin on Go. And they come at night. And speaking of which, here's Chris.
Gentlemen,
And
Michael.
Chris.
No, and Michael.
Oh, okay.
What is that? All right.
My glass.
3, 2, go.
How much did you drink tonight?
Sorry. It's been a while since we've done this. I missed
That's
you guys.
true, but
I missed you guys.
listen, this is my outro, not yours.
But only one of us has a vibrating penis. That'd be me. And yes,
And
it was
that's
going
going in.
off. Yes, it was going off. Through
Was it?
most of.
Was it stopping?
Most of the
It
show.
wasn't stopping, huh?
Uh-uh.
All right.
Well, the beautiful part of all this is that I'm recording.
We of course see, meaning you are stupid, meaning this is like a direct statement. You are stupid, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then the second one would be kwasiasem, meaning stupid talk. And then the third one is kwasia, meaning stupid.